Oh. Shower stacks hit kinda different. I don't think I could eat in a shower. That's just fucking weird. I just like, you know, try not to get my food wet. Or with soap on it. Somebody mentioned the transfer of knowledge too is a problem, and it's true. I know that with a few of the tradesmen that were here that have been doing their work for 30 years or so, or longer in some instances. It's a mixture of, like I asked the guy who did our tile. I said, Mitch, you know, you're literally like east of fucking Toronto, the best tile layer in the country. Do you have anyone that you're training right now to like take over your business and to pass this shit on? This is not everyone knows how to fucking tile even remotely well. I don't know if you've been in like a new grocery store or anything else, like a new school lately. People suck at tiling. Like, he said, yes, they do. I said, why is that the case? He said, well, I gave up trying to teach people. I said, okay, that seems like a problem. I said, why is that? Well, he said, other than the fact that I just don't have the patience in my old age anymore, which is a part of the problem. He said, everyone's so desperate to make all of their money as fast as humanly possible that I'll start training somebody, and after a year, they've decided that they have mastered the art of tiling. And so what they do is they leave me, and they start their own business as their own contractor. And then what invariably happens is they get hired for a job. They have their own little, you know, crew. After a year of fucking working with me, they have their own little crew, their own business, because they want to be the one that's paid the big bucks. And they think they know, so they get a job, and it will be like what happened earlier in the year. So I'll get a call. It'll be from, in this instance, it was from a grocery store. Just had their floor redone. They said, it's a mess, and we need somebody to help fix it. So he shows up. He said, it was all brand new tile. I said, what went wrong? I said, oh, these guys came in and tiled the floor, and they obviously didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And he looked around at the work that was being done, and it was one of the guys that left him and started his own business. So he came in to fix the fucking work, ironically. So like, it's a mixture of like, you know, you get to a point where people are working later in life because they need to, or in some instances want to. And some of it is, unfortunately, in some industries, like the trades, everyone wants to be their own boss as fast as humanly possible. Nobody wants to learn and actually take on all the knowledge from the people that have been doing it for longer than they've been alive. Oh my god, meth. But like, you know, it's just, you know, it's because what happens is, you know, they go off, they make their own company, and then they bid super low. And of course, a lot of these companies are trying, or businesses, are like, oh, we'll take the lowest fucking bid, sure. The smart way would be offer incentives for folks to stay longer. Well, who's doing the incentivizing? Because there's very little incentive for you know, somebody in Mitch's position to be like putting in extra resources to keep them around. If they don't want to be around, what the fuck does he care? Right now, he's at a point in his life where he can go into a home and lay an entire shower stall with intricate fucking tile work in 1 to 1.5 working days. And by the way, his working days are 5 hours. So he goes 1.5 works, so like 7 to 8 hours of work, and he walks away with $6,000 in cash. His incentives are not to keep people there. So, like, to him, and he's never without work. So it's not like the guys are putting him out of business by going off and doing their own thing. All those guys are doing is fucking up over and over again, and then he comes in and cleans it up or some other shit. But it was just like the discussion of the problem of a loss of transfer of knowledge. And then there's another version of this that my father experienced under the government. You know, Dad worked for the Department of National Defense as a metallurgical engineer. And my father created over time a lot of the SOPs that became standardized in the dockyard and or in the lab. And as Dad's as Dad's getting closer to retirement and informed them that he's getting ready to exit, they wanted him to put together an entire manual, a tome, for passing on to the younger guys coming into the system, so that they can continue to use and understand all these SOPs and the efficiencies my father created over, his 35-year body or 35 or 45-year body of work, and then Dad said, "Great, well, are you going to pay me for it?" "No." "Oh." So, like, you got a combination of some people don't even want to take the time to learn. You got another combination of people that are in the position where they would be the ones to pay for it that don't want to pay for it. And so you just end up, like, wasting all of this fucking knowledge. Dad trained the 2 guys that were coming in behind him, personally, for X number of months. And then that was the show. There was no... They didn't want to pay him to do it. They didn't want to pay him any money. So, there's a lot of problems with it, and it's unfortunate because it's a massive waste of perhaps the most potent resource that we have, and that's generational knowledge. The accumulation of knowledge on any given topic and passing it on so that the next person can build on a platform that is higher than the one that came before is pretty much the entire reason that humanity continues to progress forward. But if we are constantly only taking 50% off the top, dispersed amongst a great number of people because of a bunch of varying factors that are unfortunately just either inherent or forced in nature, it slows progress. They're not inherent? The inherent portion would be the example I talked about with Mitch, where the guys want the money faster so they leave ahead of time. Versus like a forced system, or wherein somebody like the government does not want to pay for the transfer. So in one, the person that has the knowledge is willing to pass it on, but the other person is just not accepting of it, and in the other, the people are willing to be accepting of it, but nobody wants to pay the person to pass it on. challenging hurdles. And unfortunately, it's something that is only really, that's only really solvable at a micro level. It's an individual decision type situation a lot of times. What up, Egg? I'm gonna finish this apple and actually get to gameplay, I swear. We're gonna happen. Just to add some levity to this whole situation. I think we're still waiting on proper confirmation, and we may never get proper confirmation. But it seems like many signs are pointing towards the fact that Elon Musk apparently has a burner Twitter account where he, like, I guess it could be described as role plays as a child. Unlike his mature official account. Alright, Mizuge, that's pretty funny. Well, what's particularly impressive is that, like, he'll post a thing on his own account, and then he'll even reply to it with that burner account. I just have so many questions. Wait, what? Yeah, man, the only problem with this is that the closest, like, direct proof is that we know that he has an account that uses the same profile picture. Beyond that, I don't think there's a... I mean, the odds are... What kind of apple? Oh my goodness. These are ambrosia, I think. Alright. I am done randomly talking about nonsense without playing. Now I will commence talking about random nonsense at the same time. Alright. So, last we left off, somebody got turned into a fucking ball. So that's awkward. She had her Edward moment.
My friend,
Yeah. I think the best part about that whole thing is, what's-her-face here doesn't even fucking acknowledge it. She just goes about her business, being crazy Renala, does not fucking care. Also, you'd think that she could spring for a bigger chair. You know, it's gotta be uncomfortable. As a tall person in small chairs, I know the pain, and sometimes you just, you know... I think there's something to be said about the fact that it also looks like it could very well be a crib. She may actually, in fact, be sitting in a crib. I'm now almost 100% certain that that is a crib. Which would make sense given the baby motif. She is sitting in a crib. Yes, we did a lot of backtracking and, quest fulfillments and tying up some loose ends and whatnot yesterday. It was a long stream. Shit got fucking real. It was 15 hours long. And, we did some memes. So, at this point, we are looking at moving on to the next area, right after the game decides to crash. This bitch seems to be crashing more and more as the file gets larger and larger. I'm wondering if there's a fucking correlation to that shit. Because the computer itself isn't crashing. Nothing else is fucking it's just the game itself seems to be shit in the bed. Yeah, just a crashed desktop. Any unusual messages in the system event viewer? I haven't looked. I could look, I suppose. Normally, if it's an event viewer thing, though, it would extend to other... in general, if it was like a hardware level issue, it would extend to other games. And I haven't experienced it with any other programs or anything. And programs that I would expect it to happen in sooner would be like, you know, Adobe Audition and whatnot, where hardware timings and everything else are much more requisite for things to not go off the rails. What up, Zorg? Faroum Azula. Honey, I'm home. Oh, we can bring out Bob. Come on out, Bob. We got work to do. Word? Ow! Ow! These are like the one dragons where you can't target a foot for some reason. Like all the other dragons you can target a foot. And now all of a sudden foot targeting is no longer an option. Which is really complicated because not all of the attacks are actually that accurate. Word, dear mother. Yeah, target the head 20 feet off the ground, or target the chest 15 feet off the ground, exactly. It makes it... I don't know why they did that. Like, pretty much every other dragon you can target a foot. At least what I can remember. I don't know, maybe I'm gaslighting myself. It happened to the other dragon that was of that same type. That I fought, because that's the same dragon type that's in, what's-her-face's, Fia's dream. Like, I couldn't target the foot on that one either. Yeah, I don't know. Just a bit odd. Just makes it more challenging, because, like, there's no way you're gonna... You hit the head, like, once in a blue moon, if you're lucky. And you're just not gonna hit the body. Like, the chest is, like, unless you're using magic or some shit. These guys are like a weird mix of wolves and demi-humans. Oh, this place has got a lot of corridors, a lot of levels. Like a lot of different ways to get around and do shit. Gonna be probably pretty easy to miss things in here. This is like warrior lycanthrope type shit here. And Beast Man! Alright, let's see if we get some lore off of that weapon. A Beast Man's curved meme. Curved sword forged of dull iron, wielded by the beast men of Faram Azula. The blade is heavy but well balanced. Comparatively easy to wield for the damage it delivers. Doesn't tell us much, does it? Just beast men, just generic ass. They're beasts, and they're men. Beast men. And they've got like full-blown wolves that look like they're also lycanthrope type with the foot stance and everything, but they're much bigger. They're just normal beast men. Just innocent beast men. And not just the beast men, but the beast women and beast children too. Ah, I'm glad to hear it, Plurpster. I'm happy to hear you've been enjoying them. I've been having a pretty good time with it myself. Great, it's a great stream game. It'll be sad when it's all over, I'm sure. Then we have to go back to the regular world of video games. But maybe we'll get lucky and Horizon Forbidden West and whatnot will be another entertaining watch for people. Alright, before we go out there, I hope your recovery is going well. Whatever the surgery was for. That's an elevator. Some sounds going on down there. Oh, you know there's some fuckery. You know there's some fuckery. Oh, even better, Plurp. I had kidney stones that needed removing. Fuck me! Did you have, did you have them, ultrasounded or whatever the fuck they do? Not the ultrasound wouldn't do it, but you know, like the fucking, they break them up? Did I see the Lakers? No, I didn't. I streamed for 15 hours and then face planted in bed after, eating, and, watching, an episode of Murder, She Wrote with them. Some crazy-ass visuals in this friggin' zone. Just fucking bonkers. A legendary LeBron performance? I think I saw that he went 20 and 20. Went to the little Johnny and lasered them up there and then pulled them out. Ah! Yeah, when it comes to stones like that, it doesn't matter how it happens, they're all- something is going in and or out of the no-no zone. We haven't figured out how to completely avoid that yet. Yeah, there's just no comfortable way to do that. $20 and 20, crazy clutch to close out the game in OT. Oh, it was an overtime game. Tie-up layup with 0.8 seconds left, off the top of the glass over the defensive player of the year. Let's go. You know what, though? I'll say that that's obviously a very impressive performance. You know what also blew my mind? Fucking Jimmy Buckets, bro. Playoff Jimmy is insane. A 56-point performance against 3, like, first all-team defenders and the first seed in the NBA. And just, and like, so many of his points were mid-range fucking jumpers and slashes to the net, which is just, like, against the defense that he was up against is just insane. Absolutely insane. Oh yeah, Adam, you're going this way. You know what I'm salty about, though? I understand why it's happening, but the Kings throwing those last 2 games. The first loss, I was accepting. The second loss, that was tough. You know, they're a young team. Inexperience is showing. The closeout is generally difficult if you don't have experience. But, that second loss was tough. That was a rough one to watch. The Kings are going home. They do tend to win more, freely in the craziest fucking arena in the game. But I think they would have clearly wanted to go home up 3-1 and not, you know, not having to win both home games. The last thing you want is doing a game 7 in somebody else's barn. Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, the Kings are just good in general, but they are, you know, like, you know, some teams are just more potent at home, and I don't blame them because their home is bumping, bro. The cost of a ticket to get into there, like, who would have ever thought it would have cost that much to go to a fucking Kings game, let alone they ever even made the playoffs. Oh no. This might be a zone I just have to run through. Fighting these guys in numbers greater than 1 is just almost a guarantee to bite it. Meogs, what's your stance on Klay Thompson? I find myself battling between respecting his obvious talent, but he is one of the least likable people in the fucking NBA. Color Me Bad was great. Fuck. Oh. Do I want to risk trying to get up this ladder? The existence of these guys has got to be the fucking worst thing ever. Like, I think, like, there are enemies we get no lore for, like, at all, and I think it makes it easier for them to just make enemies up, because really, like, imagine writing lore for whatever the fuck this is. Himmy buckets! Himothy! Apparently there is lore for these guys, it's just hard to find. They must have like a weapon or some shit that you can pick up off of them. Yeah, I agree he's Curry's Pippin. He's just even less likable than oh, well, I shouldn't say that. He's almost as unlikable as modern Pippin on social media. There's just something about him. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that Klay Thompson isn't a phenomenal basketball player, and probably almost inarguably top 50 all time, but there's just something there is something about him. That fucking picture. Oh my god. I refuse. That's just fucking amazing. It's probably the goatee. I don't know. I feel like some of it is, and I can appreciate it when you like to, for example, when you call him, and I agree, when you call him Scottie Pitt, the Scottie Pippen for Steph. I think that there's like an inherent chip on your shoulder that you end up wearing because of that. Because he probably feels like if he existed on some other team, to some degree, maybe he doesn't just get, like, because you always feel like you're second now. You don't get fully recognized for your abilities because you are perpetually tied to somebody who most people would consider better than you. Right? And I think in more recent times he started to let that out a bit. And in really kind of just douchey, unappealing ways. The pointing at his hand shit needs to stop. That man pointing at his hand for like a number of rings and shit. Just come on now. Uh... Oh boy, they got the real big boy down there. Is this just another way of getting back up to the top, and why, and... Yeah, okay. Okay! Just make sure there's nothing else down here before I go throw myself into the arena. Did you see that Lakers-Grizzlies, OT game, or was that past your bedtime? Oh no, I was in bed before that. Meowx was just talking about that. I did see the LeBron numbers on the other side, but, yeah, LeBron and Jimmy with just crazy fucking days. Crazy days out on the court. Taking this on without a fucking... without a mimic is debatable. Oh, I can mimic. Just right here specifically. No, 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 God. Fucking damn it. I knew it. Deathblight is a massive pain in the ass. And I don't even know if our mimic is gonna last long enough to even matter. How about those Leafs, though, setting up perfectly disappointing again? I mean, it's what they do best. I did the 3/4 shot that didn't count. Like, holy fuck, dude. The block into that 3/4 shot, if that actually went through, would have been absolutely insane. I wonder if there's a physic tonic that blocks Death Blight for a time. Oh wow, they really put that shit right underneath of them. Thank you, Miyazaki. Just spraying the whole fucking area with blight like that is so fucked up. Like, just the sheer fucking range and coverage of that shit is so fucking stupid. Like, you have to somehow, like, pray that they have a very specific attack pattern. That they don't do AoE bullshit. Otherwise, I'd have to find like a potion or a physic that just can do it. Because the amount that they just spread out makes it very difficult to do anything. Because the moment that you're having a hard time outrunning AoE, it's kind of tough. Yeah, an AoE that just forces you to be dead is also... in general, it's kind of fucking dumb. But to have it on an enemy that uses it predominantly and at range with a massive AoE is just like... bordering on comedy. Alright, now we've got to hope that we can... stun him or some shit. There we go. Yeah, it's a good combo shit. It's a long range, fast moving AoE that lingers for an extended period of time and builds quickly and instantaneously kills you. That's a hell of a checklist. But like I said, it comes down to what their attack pattern was when they, you know, if you can get them to not use one of a couple of moves during the fight, then you just have to kill them fast enough. Otherwise, yeah, I'd have to find a way to clear that to have a hope. Oh, the Mausoleum Knight is, immune. Makes sense. I guess that's all that's down here at the moment. Yeah, we got the item in the gazebo. That was the bell bearing. And we got the item that was up there. I think that canvases this area pretty good. Oh, I think we can spend a couple of bucks here to make that happen. I legitimately have autism. There's been something fun about how a lot of the commentary these last 100 plus hours have been, I hate this, it makes me angry, wrecking every boss that shows up. We've been here for 100 plus hours, so I think that means it's not literal and we're all having fun. Right, so, yeah, geez, how do I describe that? So, I guess the easiest way to describe it is that it's kind of like the frustration that you can get from, it's almost like an anger and frustration that's a mixture of the feelings that you would have when you are disappointed in something that you have an expectation for. And then you're just general, everyday, frustration that you can get from beating your head against the wall doing something that's difficult over and over and over again. So, like, the disappointment comes from the fact that, after so many Dark Souls games that have existed, some of the nagging issues in combat and whatnot are still a problem, or they've gotten worse. And so, some of it comes from that, for sure. And some of it is just like, you know, sometimes you're playing a game and you're getting frustrated and you're just vocalizing being upset. But it's true, you know, by and large I'm enjoying it, and I think that's just general, you know, it's the Dark Souls thing, because they are challenging. Sometimes they're not challenging for what I would say, for my own personal needs, not for the right reasons. And then so extra frustrations can come from that, and like when I was first playing the original Dark Souls, just as a comparison point, Jordan, so much harder for me because there was no previous experience, like at all. And so I struggled a lot, as many people did. It was considered at the time to be, you know, people were calling it the hardest game ever made. But I was enjoying playing it. I'd get, you know, I could get upset and angry and whatnot, but the number of times in which I was frustrated or upset in a way that, because I thought the game was, like, cheesing the shit out of me, were less. As I played more and more of these games, and they've had to do certain things to keep that same level of expected difficulty, but knowing that people have previous experience now, has made some bosses or mechanics very cheesy, or very silly. So for, like, what we were just talking about, that enemy that I just fought, the big guy there, all three of them have a projectile and massive AoE move that applies, like, death rot or whatever, which once that bar is full, you instantaneously die. And so giving enemies that have a move that is at range, fast moving, AoE that lingers in the area for a time, have three of them in one small arena, so depending on the choices of that enemy's attacks, that you as a player can't always force them to do attacks, you can't manipulate them, can mean like the whole area is just jam-packed full of it, and there's very little for you to do but die. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So sometimes it's like that. And then also lots of times it's just I'll be frustrated with myself. I'm very hard on myself. And I always expect to be good at something immediately, and when I'm not, I get a lot of anger out of it, and sometimes in games, that's just me, it just comes out as me being super pissed off. But if you watch any of my reviews for games like that, where you might watch me on the stream, screaming and hollering at the game, and then when I review it well, it's because I know that it's not, like, I'm not being objective about it, that's just me being upset with myself. It's a, it's an old man Adam thing. And when you've played and beaten like 700 plus games in your life, like I have, things start to bleed together, and frustrations can be easier to find. Sometimes, you know, more than others. And honestly, another part of it, not to make this like you just asked a very simple question, but you know me, I'm very good at fucking never shutting up. Some of it is also, when you're doing it, you know, as a streamer, you know you can't necessarily just turn the stream off on a whim and walk away. You know, if you were just playing a game recreationally, as a hobby, and you hit a tough spot in a game, and you were very frustrated, and you knew that the thing to do is to just walk away from it and just put the game down and come back later. That it doesn't always, or rarely, it doesn't work that way for somebody who's streaming, right? The show must go on, and so there's an added layer of knowing that even though you're really pissed off, you have to find a way to just keep doing the thing. That can also add to the frustration. Okay. Let's not just walk off the ledge. Wait, did I just use those runes and then not actually fucking level up? Did I really just do that? I am an absolute legend. There is still an enemy somewhere. Never mind. Let's go actually level up now. Awesome. Well, I mean, yeah, not everyone can make that, you know, that mental note. Or, well, I shouldn't say it. Some people will know that they should walk away, but, you know, that's like a stubborn nature, right? And I can definitely also be stubborn. There's no two ways around that. But, yeah, sometimes, you know, at some point in your life, it would be healthy to learn when, you know, when it is appropriate to, or you have the ability to, because it's not always the case. You know, putting something down, walking away, and coming back to it. You know, to take that opportunity is a good skill to learn about yourself. I also see the I hate this stuff being specific to design, cheese, or unfair mechanics, death, blight, invincibility frames, etc. Life you devote to me never stick but taking crazy. Yeah, yeah, so, for you, when you hear somebody say I hate this or I love this or whatever, sometimes it's, you're perhaps not seeing it as a gradient or, like, so there's degrees to it. And so it's probably difficult to tell when somebody is, you know, maybe saying something tongue-in-cheek, for example. You know, that would be difficult, especially for kind of, bordering on theatric situations. Like lag TV is essentially theatrics, right? So there's going to be a playing it up or a hamming it up, and so lots of hyperbole and exaggeration to you know, to be part of the show. And so it's not, you know, literal is very rare in the sense that so much stuff is hyperbolic in nature, as part of the cast that it's, yeah, it's just that, it's more theatrics than anything. You know, if it wasn't, don't say that, like, it's still real to me, damn it! It's kind of like, it's kind of like WWE. It's still real to me, damn it! It's kind of like, what was I gonna say? It came and went. It's gone. Maybe it will come back to me. Well, damn it, what was it gonna be? Let me think. Oh, like, so wait, it's, you know, and on average people understand that lag TV is theatrical and hyperbolic and whatnot in nature and relatively unserious, which is why so many people continue to send us their games despite the fact that they know that there is a greater than zero chance that we shit on them during the cast. And some people, like, want that, like, they want to have us tear their game apart. They want me to yell, "You fool." They want, you know, they want, you know, Jeff to mispronounce their name or you know, some other like, because they know it's a theatric. I knew as soon as I said that. That's why I changed it up to something else. It was like, they want us to shit on them, and I was like, oh, that's not gonna fucking, that's not good. 46 endurance to hit 150 stamina is, and not 100 equip load is just unfair. Why? Oh, it's not a problem, Jordan. You know, it's any opportunity that I can get to hear the sound of my own voice. As my mother would say. Oh my. I will say, ever since I started dual wielding, that I've been running into more situations in which I'm taking an extra swing. And so there must be just a small enough frame gap for the next input that I give the game to, you know, assume that I want to swing again. There must be just a minuscule enough difference to add the extra swing now. Surely you do have to like your own voice though as a content creator. Most content creators can't stand listening to themselves. Most actors can't stand watching their own movies. It's a very weird, you know, a very weird dichotomy, or a juxtaposition of what you might imagine it to actually be. I think, I honestly, like, if I had to really think about it, I think it's less about liking the sound of your own voice in a more literal sense to at some level you have to convince yourself to have an inflated sense of importance for your opinions or for the things that you say, to be able to assume that people give a fuck, right? Sometimes people can let that run a little wild, and they let that self-importance get out of control. Ow. Where am I? That's a dirty friggin' spot to have one of those guys. Wow. Wowzers. So there's a below there. Oh, look at that. That's what we're looking for right there. Naily. Doing stuff live is one thing, but hearing and seeing yourself on playback is always jarring and weird. Yeah, it's true. I've gotten more and more, I've gotten like used to it over time. I feel like at this point when I watch myself back, I don't even feel like I'm watching myself, which makes no sense. But like I've gotten to a point where I can see myself as like entertainer Adam and then like Adam, and so when I'm looking at myself on a podcast or in a Lag TV cast or some other shit, it's like, it's in the majority that's me. I don't put on a hell of a lot of a show, but I do, like most people in entertainment of any sort, like turn the knob up on certain aspects of myself as like a hyper realistic version or a hyper example of, you know, normal everyday me. And so I can watch myself and it's like, all right, I'm just looking at the content creator me, which is close to me, but it's not, you know, it's not how I would perhaps have a normal everyday conversation. And in general, the live stream version of me like this is closer to just me in real life than VOD content. So like Lag TV's stuff for StarCraft or whatnot, you know, those is less accurate. Yeah, Nova Wars kayfabe. To a degree. To stick with the wrestling reference, it would be like, oh man. What was it? What's a good wrestler reference for this? It's not like kayfabe in the sense that like Undertaker kayfabe, but more like Bret Hart. The difference between Bret Hart the wrestler and Bret Hart the person was not a stretch. Naily. Okay. Like Kanye off his meds. Bro, what the fuck? Sir? Trying to read chat and fight this guy at the same time. The Iron Sheik. The Iron Sheik was pretty kayfabe. Alright, so I thought I could actually go back up from here, but it doesn't look like I can. I don't think I can make that jump. No. Oh, well, I can go down there, which is essentially what I wanted to do anyway, so let's just... My mind is a sieve. So are many porn stars assholes. What's your point? What the hell was the rant you wanted yesterday? Oh, it was the yesterday it was a conversation about, it was a conversation to be cut up about... about Elden Ring and some Dark Souls games, but more about Elden Ring, and how their quest lines and stuff are delivered, and the downsides to how they choose to deliver them. There was a chunk of time there dedicated to that. Sleepy Giant Lady? Yeah, that might have been the genesis of it. It was around that time. You'll find yourself in the VOD saying like, oh crap, because I think you weren't paying very much attention at the time. And then if you just went back 20 minutes, it would be in that band. Somewhere along there. Yeah, I was talking about how many quest lines in this game, you know, have points of failure where you cannot continue them, which is fine, but they have a bad habit of not implementing mechanisms to let the player know that one, it was a quest line, and two, it's something that can no longer be pursued. So you end up with situations where, you know, lore-starved players will come across something like the Big Lady, and if they've, like me, gone to a point where in the story you can't continue it, but she is still there, she is still breathing, she still seems to be an integral part, she's marked on the map as a fucking NPC the whole 9 yards. You just, like, my base assumption, as a player, if I didn't have chat, would be, well, clearly, there is still something else to be done. And so you could just go waste like a bucket of fucking hours. But I want to ask if you did a certain thing involving a side character. Is it involving an NPC you know that I already interacted with at least once before? I guess that's all that's down here. I only asked that because if it was an NPC that you know I had engaged with once before, then yesterday we went through most of the stuff for NPCs that I knew of, but I'm still trying to avoid stuff that I'd never interacted with. But Naily might be able to help you with that, yeah. But whatever you end up doing with that, Mark, send me that. Send me whatever cut you put together, and we'll work through that one to make sure that it's pieced together. Because the last one that went up, where the discussion, the start of the discussion was to do with the 30 FPS mode being the only mode in Redfall, confused people a little bit, in terms of like, it was like a discussion about literally every game ever released, and so it was something for us to dodge, perhaps, with this one. Oh my god, the dialing it in. Should I, you know what I thought about last night after I ended the stream? I don't know why I thought that was so funny. Like sometimes, like I'm so cringe. Sometimes I do something and I think that I'm funny as fuck. But the dialing it in thing killed me last night. I thought that was the funniest shit because it was so dumb. I actually considered making an emote for the future. Not just for Elden Ring, but any time that I'm searching for something. Or if I'm like playing Warzone or something and I'm dialing it in for like a snipe or something, I considered making an emote for dialing it in. Okay, this is our way back down, I guess. All these items I can't get to. Salty. Not from this side, anyway. That looks like a fun arena. That's on the side that we've already been on, too. Oh, we gotta go back to the future, boys. Now that we have that other touch ass. I missed what started that meme. That was just so it was just me, like, so like the quest line for one of the fucking "You're a Wizard, Harry" was searching for an illusory wall that was like in a cave wall or some shit. And so like the whole idea was just, you know, getting dialed in, like my sixth sense for finding illusory walls, which normally is pretty fucking strong. And so it was just that was it. It was dialing in the sixth. It was the sixth sense. It was just me saying, just gotta dial it in. We're dialing it in, and it just kept fucking getting dialed in. And eventually it was just a fucking. I thought it was the funniest thing. Sometimes you just need to hear something 1,000 times to yourself and you find it funny, and that was kind of what happened. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. I thought I was the funniest guy in the world. Oh yeah, that wall had absolutely no indication. Oh wait, is all that shit on the other side of this? It might be, which means we might not be able to really... unless we go the other side of the building, maybe. Don't mind me, gents. just passing through. Well, this night is not really what we're looking for. This could get awkward if somebody comes out here. Just finished watching the Caveat Emptor game. Never seen such a damn nail biter. Great guy. Oh, thank you, Ras. I appreciate that. Yeah, you probably caught a sub off of Miyagi who gifted 90 fucking subs. So what? Huh. My fridge is dead and the repair guy can't get here until Thursday. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, the thing to do is go buy some bags of ice if you have any places that sell them nearby. And just fucking fire them in there. And then, ride that bitch out. Just did that? There you go. My penis definitely can't get any larger. If it did, then, I'd be in the wrong industry. Well, I thought maybe we'd be able to get out the other side, but no. So I don't know exactly... Oh, that's crazy annoying, bro. A refrigerator going down is brutal. Absolutely brutal. You boys coming down here? Word? Ow. promise us full large penises. You won't find any here, Beth. Oh my god. For fuck's sakes. Do you know what's busted with the fridge? Mine quit because we didn't clean the coils in 100 years. Yeah, that'll do it. I had to pull it out, clean out the dust, wait for everything to melt, and then plug it back in to work again. Yeah, sometimes that's the case. Good hit. You got me. Keep trying. Alright, so it looks like we can't actually get over there the way that we thought. That's fine. God, I do a lot of damage. It's kind of disgusting. I love it. There's a certain part in Souls games where aside from like a few areas or a few certain enemy types, you just scale to such a ridiculous level that there's like a turning over point where the levels of anxiety that you have about dying just drop out to like way lower levels, and the games just become slightly more entertaining. Da-da. Ba-da ba ba ba-da. Ba-da ba ba ba-da. Ba-da ba ba ba-da. Oh, this guy's bad news. Very bad news. Scary. Those boys have a high poise, and they do huge damage. Alright. Alright. Okay, I'm trying to get a back attack, but just fuck it. I might die. I'm just shit in the bed right now. Oh my god. What the fuck? Adam. There's also something about the dualies where I've noticed when I went from like one weapon two-handed to two weapons, that even if I'm targeted or targeting an enemy and I do a jump attack, it's so much less accurate. Like, you just fucking, like, sometimes you're just in a different area code. There's something about the two-handed shit that just kind of gets weird. How am I dual wielding those giant fuck sticks? Believe it or not, they only weigh 10 pounds apiece. I don't know what they're made of. But, evidently they're made of not much. They do still require 22 strength to wield single-handedly. But yeah. They don't weigh a lot. Oh boy, that's a commitment. Nice lighting situation. RTX on, you know what I mean? So we got 6 potions and a dream at the moment. Hello, sir. Ow. Fuck me. That shield bash is a potent meme. Oh boy. Yeah. Oh no! They're godskins, and they do a lot of damage. Alright, Bob! Have fun! I do not have the fucking pots for this. At all. I forgot that fire is just... What?! Bob is fucking them up. Get in there! Oh, this guy hurts. No, 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 not this bullshit. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Bob, why? No! Fuck! No! Are there more? Oh no. Oh fuck. Alright, Bob, start it up. Bob, I don't have the pots for this, I'm so sorry. Normally I'd be right in there with you fucking him in the pussy, but this shit is... Fuck him up, Bob! Go for it! You did not just summon some shit. Another one?! What the fuck?! Oh, fuck. That's like the one thing I needed him to not use. Ah! Oh my god, did I just do like 6 trillion damage? I just half-lifed his ass with that jump. Good job, Bob. Bob fucking hard carrying there. I did not have the pots for that madness. Oh, God. Bob put in some fucking work. Remember the Dragon Knights pair fight? This is the fight I think that was worst designed. Without summons, 100%. With summons, I'd still rather fight this than the Dragon Knights. It's Bob's... Honestly, Bob is really good. It's the insane scaling that Bob is getting of vigor and defense. Bob has like 15 times my health pool and defense. Like, it's an unmitigated fucking shit show. Whatever his health pool is, enormous. And so much of the aid that Bob provides there, other than the fact that Bob also, as you know, weaponized like I am, is just the sheer tanking potential. Like, otherwise, if I didn't have Bob in that fight, I would have just basically been dead. And I would have had to come back here with full pots, and probably it would have taken me like 4 or 5 attempts to kill these guys. But with Bob, my strategy can change, where I just have to make sure that I'm constantly letting Bob draw attention, and then get big attacks in that I wouldn't normally take if I was in a one-on-one scenario. If I was 1v1, you wouldn't see me doing these you wouldn't see me doing these big running two-handed memes. Oh, sleeping pots. Yeah, sure. I'm surprised that they aren't immune to it though. That's the kind of thing that I would probably have never thought of, because going into any boss fight in any game, I've been trained to think that bosses are never susceptible to that kind of a status ailment. Have I have crafted some items, yeah. Mostly the stuff that just clears things like scarlet rot, poison, things like that. But I've never been one to really make use of a lot of throwing items. I just tend to get caught with my pants around my ankles and fucking clapped whenever I try to throw something. So, I just never bothered incorporating that. Which is unfortunate, because in many of the Dark Souls games, and apparently in this one too from what I've heard, some of the throwables are super fucking good. Yeah, though these guys in 1v1s are whatever. The fat guy is the worst, because depending on the arena that you're in, when he gets into his roll, that roll can last a long time, and it's without a light roll to get you farther and farther away, it's very hard to avoid it. But having two of them at once definitely makes things much more of a pain in the ass. I'm not sure if you had burn all available. Is that like a summon? I don't know, maybe. I don't really like the mimic is all I need in my life. No. Not as of yet. Mina got Beth and I sick. It sucks so bad. Yay, kids. Both home from work today. Oh, man. Dude, kids are a fucking plague in the this year. Late last year into this year. kids are like so terrible. Like I don't know what the secret sauce is for why that seems to be so pervasive right now, but it is just brutal. Like every one of my friends that have kids that have to go to any kind of daycare, it's game over. Like it's bad enough that like there's an argument to be made that the moment that you are capable to just have your kid at home and not put them in daycare, but you know, obviously loads of people don't have that as an option. I feel like I'm gonna die against this guy. Wow. Oh my god, he's fucking me up. Well, yeah, there was like the old wives' tale or urban legend about how getting sick all the time, you know, builds up your immune system over time. It's not that, like, from my understanding, it's only like a partial truth. I guess in the best case scenario, you have general exposure to your whatever environment you have to spend all of your time in. That's why, like, some people in certain parts of the world can drink the water and you can't. But not so much that you get severe symptomatic situations out of it. So, like, ideally you're exposed, but in a way that is minimal enough to avoid severe disease. Because eventually you're going to, you know, get hit with it if it's in your general environment. But yeah, it doesn't, it's not quite the way where it was like the idea was if you're just, you know, if you're getting exposed to stuff and you're getting sick, then you're building your immune system up. Not necessarily it. The majority of your immune system is the pre-getting sick phase that you want to be investing in, and that's a combination of genetics, diet, exercise, general mood, just a fucking cornucopia of shit that plays into your body's immune response. But then there are some things where, you know, it, like, you know, strep throat, your immune system is, you know, bacterial is a different situation. Not quite the same thing. Found the Australian. Looking too personal, do you ever get to the bottom of your health situation? Oh, you mean like my legs and shit? No. No, not as of yet. They ran an absolute plethora of tests and whatnot. They never seemed to find the cause of some of my heart-related stuff, or never really got to the bottom of what was predominantly causing my swelling. And then at some point, eventually, we got to a point where the tests that they were, you know, gonna run to poke and prod further were getting into specialized situations where the timeline to get in to have them done is relatively extended, and then it was exacerbated, the time scale was exacerbated dramatically by COVID. Fucking Mark. It's a 10 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10. So, like, the good news is that they tested for a lot of, like, the absolute worst for the swelling portion, and so there was no signs of any kind of autoimmune diseases that would be at the center of it or anything of that nature. And as far as my heart was concerned, they didn't notice anything on the take-home 24-hour EKG monitor that they put on me that gave them any concern. And so, it's nothing that's likely to suddenly come up and fucking take me out the game randomly, per se. But, you know, we're still working on narrowing down what it might actually be. I'm actually getting a bunch of just general, not specific, but just general blood work done in the next couple of weeks, and so in probably a month from now, I'll have info on my general health from that. Yeah, well, you know, I will survive. I have adapted relatively well to things like the nerve damage in my legs and whatnot. It's not ideal, but you know, at some point you gotta just try to adapt to the best of your ability. That's why I'm sitting in this chair that I'm sitting in right now and not at a computer desk. For example. Oh boy. An elevator. Sometimes you just gotta die. Ideally, not before your time. Oh hey look, a fucking free grace? Well, it wasn't free, we paid for this one, technically. I don't know if I just paid for, like, a fucking checkpoint shortcut, or if there's an entire other meme up here. Oh, this might be a whole ass meme. Yeah, there's a series of things here that, you have to ask yourself. What is likely to be behind a stone key fog door that has an elevator that leads to a grace and then an open area? The only other thing that could happen is in like another 20 feet outside this door, the summon fucking button comes up. And then you know. Yeah, the Stake of Marika, the whole, we're getting the usual. Wait for it. Wait for it. I love how their arms fly off when you hit them from behind. Getting clapped so hard, your arms just come right out of the sockets. always the 1 HP, innit? To be fair, it's not all Mia's fault that we're sick. My new coworker came to work while sick and didn't wear a mask. Oh, it's just everyone's just fucking making great adult life choices, eh? You love to see it. You love to see it. Yeah, I was gonna say, they're gonna drop down from there. They're trying to catch me with this guy, and then they all drop. You can't fool me, I'm familiar with your game. Look, they're even standing there because they don't even want to, like... Fuck, he hurts. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Now all of a sudden the whole fucking team shows up. I see how it is. Very difficult to not... Okay, you know what? Bob is here now. Go fuck yourself. Sometimes you gotta even the odds. Oh geez, Bob's hung up on this guy. And he doesn't want to drop. Alright, Bob, stop wasting your shit. Come on. We got bigger fish to fry, Bob. There's no cooldown on Bob per se. It's just that you're in certain zones that have the ability or that allow you to summon. And then it's just, do you have the magic or whatever? Are you really just fucking continuing to come back even after we've killed you twice? Stay dead. A rune arc and a golden seed, damn. Damn. Does Em cut her nails on Tuesdays? What fucking meme? Is following up on that. I just found out some Filipinos think it's bad luck to cut their nails on Tuesday. Oh! I don't think she's ever avoided that, that's for sure. the thing about Filipinos, if you dig hard enough, they're, if they all knew all the things in which large portions of their populations were, superstitious about something, they'd never be able to do anything on any day of the fucking week. Like, the Filipino culture is truly unhinged with its, like, you know, superstitions. Like, it's truly unhinged. The shit that they, like, come up with is... Like, I don't know how they're not just... Is that Alexander? Word? I don't know, I just don't understand how they're not all just, like, crippled with severe anxiety on a day-to-day basis for all the shit in which they can't do. Fucking dragon over there. But it's Tuesday? Oh my god. I'd be like, stop. Get some help. This guy's gonna clap me, isn't he? Just can't fucking target his feet either. That's gonna hurt. Did you not? Ow. Oh my lord. I'm gonna die? That was within 3 frames of fucking getting that pod off. Should've just dodged one more time, but I didn't know what kind of fucking, what kind of move he was pulling up. We were on a video call with her mom and we asked her if she still believes in all the superstitions she grew up with, and she said no, we live in a computer age now. Yeah, for some people that doesn't, that still hasn't, you know, changed anything. Still just insane superstitions. Grasping, like, holding on to it for dear life. That's fucking unhinged. They stuck it right underneath the damn dragon. This guy is so fucking good at hitting me with that, it's nutty. And he's got a fucking stagger. Shit's crazy. Come on, Al. I am impressed, Al. It's all fucking lined up. That's why. It's set to land the second attack right after you get up. They have some enemies that do that, and it's very bothersome. Like the timing window of their follow-ups is like lined up with the... Really? How is that possible? The timing window is lined up almost exactly with a medium roll recovery time. So if you get hit with the first one, it's very difficult to not get hit with the second. That was a whole lot of humming and hawing for not a lot of fucking payoff, wasn't it? Like, what did I get? Some gravel? Did I get something other than the gravel that I just, like, accidentally pressed through? Just, like, jamming buttons? Need to get up early for work tomorrow, so I'm off to bed. Alright, O-Tech! Hey, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you had a good time. Let's not walk down there. Oh. Or maybe. Or maybe. The sense of pride and accomplishment. Published by EA. That's still one of the most unhinged things I think I've ever heard a video game executive say in public. I just remember when I first heard it, I was just so shocked. It's just like, I can't... Like, I almost felt like it was just like a breaking of the fourth wall at that point. What up, yo? Enjoying the crumbling Faroom? Oh yeah. We're, working our way through. Entitled to Affluence. I haven't heard that one before, that's pretty good. Am I like right back at the beginning? Like, did that just do a full loop around? Like, where the fuck am I? Like, a lot of this place looks the same. EA, it's in the microtransactions. Oh boy, here he comes. Here come that boy. Clapped. Not a big fan of that room, I can tell you that much. I gotta go back up here and look around. Hey, what's up, Apex? Oh yeah, this is, yeah, this is the beginning. Yeah, this is the same area. But I don't recall... Let's see. Oh no, this is here. Okay, this wrapped right back around. Fantastic. Fantastic. We are 11K off the meme. Yeah, you missed the gods can do it. We came across him with only 4 pots too, so I summoned Bob, and then I had to use the tactic of letting Bob distract them so that I can just get in some big attacks, but then not do the majority of the enclose stuff because I just did not have the health to compete at all. At all. Don't You Guys Have Phones is another classic. That is a classic. That is definitely. Pride and Accomplishment was likely superseded by, or you know, it was dethroned by Don't You Guys Have Phones. That was some truly unhinged shit. That actually, like, Blizzard was already PR nightmare fuel for a bit at that point, but it was still salvageable. Then he said, "Don't you guys have phones?" And, like, that pretty much just fucked them. Like, how do you come back from that? Like, it will take decades. The shit was just crazy. Completely unhinged. And then, like, the follow-up of, like, the guy, the red shirt dude or whatever the fuck, where he was like, is this a late April Fool's joke or some shit, was just, like, this, can you imagine PR team at Blizzard watching that show, and at some point you have to imagine they were like, cut the feeds, shut the whole fucking shit, we can't continue this, just get them off the stage, we can't, please. I'll be right back, gotta use the washroom.